Everybody, and welcome to another episode of United Talks podcast. And today we are going to be doing the season preview. Now, we're going to be diving deep into what promises to be one of the most pivotal seasons in Manchester United's recent history. After a truly forgettable 24-25 campaign, we're looking at a new era under Ruben Amorim again, basically starting his first full season with preseason already in the bag. Significant faces and fresh set of expectations. Now, what does it all mean? What does this all mean for our beloved club, Manchester United? Let's break it down, basically, every step of the way. Right. First, it's not a situation where we need to scapegoat it. Let's not scapegoat it. Last season was a disaster. Finishing a dismal 15th in the Premier League was a shock to the system for everyone associated with the club, including the fans alike. To add insult to injury, we narrowly lost the Europa League final to Tottenham Hotspur to even an own goal by Luke Shaw, which was credited to Brennan Johnson. Especially to Tottenham Hotspur, which means that European football for us was done. We're not playing European football this season. But let's not also forget the pitiful 44 goals in 38 games that we scored all through the season, especially in the Premier League. This is a truly embarrassing statistic. This all also culminated in Erik ten Hag's departure in November 2024, paving the way for Ruben Amorim's arrival on November 11th, 2024. Amorim's appointment signaled a clear shift, and he's all about being proactive, a philosophy-driven approach, moving away from the reactive football that we've always seen too much of. And his mantra is short-term pain for long-term gain. And he's always said that we're going to suffer, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Now he's here to implement a comprehensive tactical transformation that takes time, right? This transformation will take time, right? Now, let's talk about the summer transfer window, because obviously this is where the real excitement lies. The club has invested heavily, splashing around 228 million euros on four key acquisitions, primarily bolstering our attacking third. Now, leading the charge is Matheus Cunha. It was signed for 26 million pounds from Wolves. His release clause was activated. He's a versatile forward capable of playing across the front line, known for his creativity, intelligent movement, and clinical finishing. Amorim himself can't speak highly enough of Cunha, calling him a crucial, loud guy who brings the characteristics that the team needs and that the team missed last season, right? He's already shown flashes of brilliance since preseason, jinking past opponents and drawing fouls. And there's even talk of him being a golden boot contender with the odds at 40-1, especially when it comes to high expectations. And that's really a high expectation indeed, right? Now, next up is Bryan Mbeumo, a £71 million arrival from Brentford, right? Bryan Mbeumo is a right winger who thrives when facing the goal, using his speed, his dribbling to exploit spaces, especially in transitions. He also is defensively diligent, pressing from the front, and we saw the promising combination, play between him and Ahmad on the right flank in preseason. Amorim acknowledges he needs to understand the position, the movements within the new system, but his adaptability is highly rated. I did that in the player profile. You can find that on the channel. There's also the excitement of Benjamin Sesko, which is our recent acquisition. It was recently acquired from RB Leipzig for 73.7 million pounds, standing at 6'4", and he's a clear aerial threat and has been likened to Erling Haaland due to his physical profile and his explosive pace. Sesko is devastatingly fast. He's very devastating on fast breaks, and especially when it comes to ball possession as well and ball striking. He possesses an exceptional ball striking ability. Amorim sees him as the explosive element currently lacking in our forward line and has a special plan for him to operate alongside Rasmus Højlund, or if Rasmus Højlund doesn't go, or Joshua Zirkzee, depending on the way things pan out. But I believe that with Rasmus Højlund being in the team, we need that genuine competition which will elevate both players to be at their best. Finally, a glimpse into our future with Diego Leon. Now, a young Paraguayan left wing back, signed for 3 million euros from Caro Portinho. Amorim was his first signing. This was his first signing, and he is impressed in his physical strength and driving runs. And there's rumor and there's a news report that he's loved by everyone. He's expected to be a direct backup for Patrick Dogo, which indicates that the other left backs are definitely going to go on loan. Hayamas is going to go on loan, most definitely, as I saw a few hours ago. Now, there's a clear long-term focus on youth development and signing players who are, young. On the outgoing front, notable departures include Marcus Rashford, who has joined Barcelona on loan, and Christian Eriksen, and then Johnny Evans and Victor Lindelof all left on free. And this clear out also suggests that Amorim is shaping the squad, not just tactically, but culturally, moving on players he did not want to keep, especially the exiled 4 or 5, as the case may be, with Jadon Sancho, Tara Malacia, Anthony, and Alejandro Garnacho. Now, so what about Amorim's tactical blueprint and challenges of the challenges of implementing it? Because I've seen a lot of social media content online talking about the blueprint and it not working in the Premier League and all whatnot. But what are the challenges of implementing, this tactical blueprint? His preferred formation is typically a 3-4-3 or 3-4-2-1 system, and it is designed, for defensive stability and fluid attacking rotations, with wing backs being absolutely crucial for the width and defensive transitions. However, this is where some challenges arise. Our current squad reportedly lacks natural wing backs, with players like Dalot and Majraoui not accustomed to these roles, but they have been, they are training to fit these roles, right? And there are also concerns about the centre backs meeting the system's demands for on-the-ball proficiency and defending wide channels, which I have seen where I think De Ligt has improved in that. I've seen that in preseason, but you can't tell until the season starts. I've seen that in Lenioro, the way he passes the ball distribution and all that on the right side. Yet to see a lot on the left side, maybe a few flashes from Aiden Heaven, and maybe Luke Shaw at some point, depending on who Amorim starts with. Then in midfield, there's an identified need for more physicality and energy, while Amorim is also trying to integrate, the Bruno Casemiro situation, like double pivot, which has hardly worked. Both Bruno and Casemiro are risk takers, right? Potentially leaving us exposed. So then there's the Manuel Ugarte menu option, which has worked for one game, but and that's the game against Bournemouth. But for the game against Fiorentina, it seemed to have, against Everton, it seemed to have petered out for a bit. So that depends on what Man United, and Renama said he's working with Kobe Menu to achieve certain aspects of his game that he wants for this system. But we've also seen improvements in aggressions, during preseason. The positive link-up play between Mbeumo and Ahmad, but defensive vulnerabilities like conceding soft goals have also been evident. We've seen that where we've conceded goals in the channels, so right or left channels. Against West Ham, we considered one we considered one in the right channel. Eddie Heaven was defending on that's on the left channel, rather, right left channel of the goalkeeper. But if from the attacking phase of West Ham is on the right channel, and then on our right side of the centre back situation, the channel, we've considered like 2 goals, and in preseason we considered 1 goal. No, we considered 2 goals in preseason on the right and considered 2 goals in preseason on the left. So it's very important that we are able to defend, and it's evident that soft goals like these have been considered. Now, for the big question, what can we realistically expect from Man United this season? The absence of European football is a double-edged sword. On one hand, it is a significant advantage, giving Amorim plenty of time on the training ground to get the ideas across. This dedicated time is crucial for embedding his complex system. On the other hand, it hits our revenue and prestige, no doubt, and could also make attacking top-tier players harder in the future, right? It could also make attracting top tier players harder in the future, but it also means intense domestic scrutiny with no excuse for underperformance. Now, in truth, despite the fact that it looked like it was going to be hard for top tier players to come, we've been able to secure 3 top tier players and 3 goal scorers, and we've revamped our front 3. Right now, fan expectations are impressively low, with many, feeling that things cannot get any worse. Betting odds, if you're into betting, I'm not. Betting odds reflect this, placing us at a 28-1 to win the Premier League and a 4-1 for a top tier finish. Opta and Opta supercomputer projections are even more conservative, giving us an average, table placement of 11.7 and only a 6.7% chance of a top 4 finish. Now, to general expectations, in regards to the general expectations, now, it is expected that Man United could achieve around 2 points per game, aiming for a 70 to 75 points, which would also put us in contention for European qualification. This season is unequivocally make or break for Amorim, with some suggesting that anything below 7th or 8th could lead to his dismissal. So that is what we're looking at. And realistically, what do you think? Where do you think Manchester United would finish in this whole thing? In the domestic cups, after a 5th round FA Cup exit last season, we're expected to be among the front runners, right? There is a sentiment that we could also become a cup team now, given the focus on domestic competitions, right? Now, if we're going to go with Ruben Amorim's starting lineup or season lineup, basically, if the transfer window closes now, what would be Ruben Amorim's starting lineup? And I'm going to give you what it will be, barring any injuries, any concerns and stuff. This is what I think Ruben Amorim will go with. It could change, but we're analyzing every position before we wrap this all up. And that will be Andre Onana in net, basically. Ruben Amorim's starting lineup for this season will be Andre Onana in net, right? And then we will go with we will go with Andre Onana in net, and then we will go with Lenioro on the right side of the defense, basically. And then we will also consider going with, so Andre Onana in net, Lenioro on the right side, Matheus de Ligt in the center of centre back, and then we have Luke Shaw on the left side of centre back. It could change. Obviously, for the first game against Arsenal, Onana is still injured, so they said he could make it in time for the game. So Onana, it will be Altaban there for the guest game, but for the season, it will be Onana. Matheus de Ligt is Amorim's centre back. It could be Harry Maguire, but Matheus de Ligt is Amorim centre back even for the first couple of games, because Maguire has to hit a certain height when it comes to fitness. And then Luke Shaw, Amorim has stated that he prefers Shaw, to an extent. He's a world-class player and all of that. This is what Amorim has said. So Luke Shaw on the left, and then Lenioro on the right, and then we have Bruno Fernandes and Manuel Ugarte in the mid, right? Now, Bruno Fernandes was going to play like a withdrawn role, and then we could see those rotations going on in the mid. Then we have Patrick Dogu, obviously the first choice left wing back, and then Amad Diallo, first choice right wing back. And then we have Matheus Cunha and Bryan Mbeumo as our left and right 10. We don't have Benjamin Sesko as our forward, or center forward, or striker, as the case may be. Then it could be anything in the front three with regards to Cunha, Mount, Amad, Bruno, and it could be any of those: Cunha, Mount, Amad, Bruno. And then on the right wing back position, it could be Amad Diallo and Dalot. And then it could also be Sesko or Xerxes or Højlund, depending on any of the front 3 that we have available, or for which game we're going to play that formation. So it is, one for us to kind of really think about and consider with regards to starting line. But for the game against Arsenal, I am seeing a position where we're going to start Altaban there. We're going to start Harry Maguire, Matheus de Ligt on the right, Lenioro on the left. For the strongest starting lineup, he might go with Eden Heaven, depending. And then we have Bruno and Manuel Ugarte in mid, and then Patrick Dogo on the left wing back, and then Ahmad on the right wing back, and then Cunha, Mbeumo, and potentially, I don't believe this Sesko is going to start. I don't believe Sesko is going to be ready for that game, but I think Ruben Amorim might start him. So, but I'm going to go with Cunha, Mount, Mbeumo as his forward, 4-3-4 for the game against Arsenal. But we'll do the match preview when the time comes. I think that will be in 2 days. Premier League starts in 2 days, but we'll do the match preview by Friday, I believe. So, to wrap this all up, this season under Ruben Amorim is undeniably, a period of significant transition and rebuilding. Now, substantial investment in attacking talent brings, genuine excitement and much needed firepower. Amorim's decisive approach to squad building and his clear tactical vision are positive signs, right? The lack of European football, while a blow, to our prestige, offers a unique opportunity for intensive tactical work. However, success hinges highly on how quickly the squad adapts to, Amorim's demand or system demands, right? Especially how demanding the system is. If all things being equal, we're getting two more players, then, that means that it raises the odds a little bit, right? Now, there's also a situation with the demands in defense and in midfield. Attack is not a problem. Bryan Mbeumo and Matheus Cunha have worked with different strikers and they've all scored goals. Cunha has worked with different players, including Strand Larsen and even this Mexican international who plays for Fulham. He's worked with that player as well as a striker. He's worked with even Adama Traore. So you can imagine, Adama Traore is not a striker as a winger, but Cunha has played with him. And then Cunha has played in this system as well. And then we have Bryan Mbeumo, who has worked with Wisa and the other England international, whose name skips my mind a lot of the time, right? So he's played even Schade as well. So he's played with different strikers, so he can work things out, right? That is Ivan Toney. So Mbeumo has worked with Ivan Toney. Now, overcoming the existing imbalances in these areas will also be key to the consistency against top oppositions. For Amorim, this is a pivotal test. He needs to show tangible progress in the Premier League, aiming for, 5th or 6th. This is pretty much what I'm thinking, because 5th or 6th will seem like progress, but it will show that, we're making strides. But I won't put it past us to go 5th or 6th on the trophy, and that's what I predict. 5th or 6th and a trophy or two, probably 2 of domestic trophies. Seeing as we have ample time, while others will be dealing with pressures of playing in Europe when it comes to the thick of things, we will be having ample time to do things on training ground and prepare for games. And we can actually start our starting lineup against, stronger oppositions without having to worry about injuries. We can also start our strong starting lineup to test other things against weaker oppositions, to also have to learn and embed ourselves on the system and try out, also eventually get the chance to try out young players as well, so we don't have to worry about race against time for training on the field. So, strong performances in domestic cups and especially to solidify his long-term vision is very key in all of this. Now, it will be a true test of patience, tactical adaptability, and the manager's ability to translate his ideas into consistent winning results on the pitch. Now, it's going to be a fascinating season for us as Man United fans and for the entire team and for the club. But let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you think Amorim can turn this ship around? What are your predictions for the new signings? For me, I put this poll out there on the community platform and I got a lot of responses. I believe that Benjamin Sesko is going to score around 15 goals. I also believe that Matheus Cunha is going to score around 15 goals. And I also believe that Bryan Mbeumo is going to score around 15 goals. I expect 10 goals from Ahmad. I expect 10 goals from Bruno Fernandes. I expect like 3 or 4 goals from Dogo. Probably 7 goals from Mount. And then maybe like 7 to 10 goals from Xerxes, depending on how many times he plays. And all of that. These are all in the Premier League, right? Then if we're talking about all competitions, we're talking about around 20 goals from Sesko, around 20 goals from Cunha, depending on how many competitions he plays, around like 17 to 20 goals from Mbeumo, seeing as he's been doing 20 goals in Premier League, he can do 15 plus 5 and all of that. And then Bruno Fernandes, as always, you know, he can deliver. Last season he delivered 19 goals, 19 assists, right? Yeah, 19 goals, 19 assists. So I won't put it past him to do another 19, 20 goals, all competitions. Ahmad, same thing, maybe around 15 all competition and all of that. So with all these goals coming, barring all the other contributions from the defenders and all of that, and other midfielders like Menu and Co, like Harry Maguire, like De Ligt, Euro, even Ugarte, there's a high chance that we will do really well next season. And everybody just needs to believe, and this is my appeal to Man United fans, just believe that this will work, and it will work. So, do you think that Ruben Amorim can turn the ship around? And if you believe so, let me know in the comment section. If you don't, also put your comments in the comment section. If you haven't already, please do like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't have to miss anything as it relates to Manchester United. That's it all for this episode of United Talks Podcast. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you don't have to miss any of these deep dives that we do with regards to, you know, Man United and anything that has to do with season. We look forward to, you know, what the transfer market holds for Man United. Thank you so much for liking. Thank you so much for subscribing again. I see all your comments and I try as much as possible to respond to all of them. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Goodbye and God bless.